Hi guys. Today I'm going to go through a message from a guy who's having issues with someone he's dating. A key part of the story is that the woman is 6 years older than him, and that comes with its own issues for the guy who shares his story. I'll go over the story and then share my opinion on it. Let's begin. The guy who's in his 30s says, "I've been having a relationship with a woman who is 6 years older. We live together peacefully. In fact, she's much better than the woman I was engaged to before. She is obviously pressed for time to have a family, which is the problem. She got married and got divorced in her 20s. Therefore, I assume she didn't have any children from that marriage. In her early 30s, she later called off an engagement. She has now been in a serious, committed relationship without bearing offspring twice. Her emotional baggage from previous relationships has led to severe anxiety. She has made 2 attempts to end her life. The second was when I attempted to break up with her for the first time some months ago, but fortunately, she survived. I genuinely think, or maybe I'm being naive, that she has worked on herself. We bond, have the best physical intimacy, and have a lot of similar interests. She is really honest about everything. She is really nice, and I really do like her. I just worry about her health. While I am very pro-natural and pro-health, she also has an autoimmune illness and takes a pill for every headache, upset stomach, and other symptoms like sleep disturbances. So this guy is very different from her in some particular aspects. He continues to say that she is vaccinated whereas I am not, which raises serious issues for me. Additionally, she has already experienced a miscarriage and had her eggs from the last pregnancy frozen. So I have serious reservations about having children with someone who is vaccinated. I suppose you could say I'm in love with her, but I simply can't seem to shake the worry I have for her well-being. She is such a lovely person. I'm not sure what to do at all. Okay, so this woman has a baby obsession, or what some people call baby rabies, which essentially means that she's just obsessed with having babies. And it's typically because she squandered her 20s on unproductive activities while she was more fertile and in better physical shape to bring a baby to term. If you don't understand the idea, it's pretty simple for those of you who are younger and are currently viewing this. When you date women who are older than you, they can have a completely different mindset than you about certain things such as having babies. In the mid to late 30s, women tend to see the statistics. They are aware that the longer they wait, the higher the danger of miscarriage and complicated high-risk pregnancies will be. As you grow older, all of those things increase. The ideal age for women to start families is in their early 20s. They are most fertile and capable of having and raising children at that time. Also, they technically have the means and the health to do so at that age. For decades now, the feminist movement has led females to believe that emancipation for them is true to pursue big-time careers, have big-time degrees, become business owners, and live their lives like their only purpose is to make big decisions and become CEOs. And I always say that in all of this, women tend to forget that their natural disposition is such that they're biologically wired to have and nurture children. If they ignore that, they're completely going against their very nature. Guys, please realize, don't let women's issues become your issues. If a woman wants babies and you don't need to go down that road. And women can't judge guys who do that. It's a personal choice. There are 8 billion people on the globe, so you can have children if you want to, with women making up half of them. There are at least 4 billion women on Earth. You're telling me that the list must be reduced down to this person who is 6 years older than you, has anxiety and health concerns, takes medication for everything under the sun, and has received an unproven vaccination about which no one even knows whether there will be any long-term effects. Are you sure you want to have a child with this one? Look, it's usually a pretty good sign if you have any reservations about someone and your gut is telling you to avoid them. Spend an hour or 2 watching how men are treated in family court while a couple is going through a divorce if you still need motivation or knowledge. Because if you want children, and that's what this woman wants, she has frozen her eggs, constantly bugging you about it, and is probably sitting there looking at her calendar and thinking, "There goes another egg, what am I going to do now?" She's trying to make your problem become her problem. These kinds of situations don't turn out well because a lot of these guys end up having the child or children with the woman, building a bond with her, and then at some time she realizes she no longer needs him. She understands family law, which is normally very helpful to women. In other words, it was created at the expense of the father in order to safeguard children and ensure that they had the best resources. Thousands of men who I've spoken to over the years have repeatedly stated that if they could go back in time, they wouldn't have done it, or that they would have chosen a better suitable mother for their children. Guys, the first problem with this situation is that he is dating an older woman. She has emotional baggage, which is the second issue. She has been married once, divorced once, and then engaged again. None of these relationships have worked out since she has had miscarriages, health concerns, pop pills for everything, and uses unproven experimental treatments merely because the government tells her to on television. Do males pay attention when I tell them that the vaccination has more red flags than a Chinese communist parade? Typically no. In any case, they will go and do what they want to do. They will undoubtedly follow the advice of the woman in their lives, which will definitely not turn out well. Let's discuss framing. Every partnership involves one person stepping into the other's frame. According to how you're describing it, this situation involves an older woman with anxiety and health issues, a lady whose lifestyle you would not necessarily find acceptable. You are attempting to reason this through in your thoughts, knowing how important self-care is. You're attempting to ignore all of these warning signs that are appearing by playing the imaginary game of saving the woman, or by engaging in other utopian thought processes. You're simply like, I'm going to look the other way, despite the fact that there are literally more red flags here than anywhere on the planet. Right. You can choose to do it, but in doing so, you're effectively inviting disaster into your life. Why males still welcome turmoil and nightmares into their life when they really need to be keeping them at a distance baffles me. If I were in your shoes, women like her would only be someone I'd be dating or friends of benefits, given the way you describe her to me. Let her find another guy to go and have children if she wants to. Just enjoy the chemistry you two share in the bedroom. It won't continue forever. Her main goal is to have children, which is as plain to me as daylight, and I can tell you that right now. In essence, a woman who freezes her eggs is saying that having a child or children is her top priority in life. Okay, as long as she can check that box and the person she's with is as near to a nice parent as possible, she doesn't really care who it is. This man will likely go ahead and do what he pleases, but the truth remains that you have an inner voice in your ear, in your chest, and in your gut that asks, are you sure you want to do this? Look, it's usually a pretty good sign if you have any reservations about someone and your gut is telling you to avoid them. Spend an hour or two watching how men are treated in family court while a couple is going through a divorce if you still need motivation or knowledge. Because if you want children, and that's what this woman wants, she has frozen her eggs, constantly bugging you about it, and is probably sitting there looking at her calendar and thinking, there goes another egg this month. She's trying to make your problem become her problem. What's the use of having children if you wind up in the family court grind like the great majority of males do? When all that happens, your financial resources are going to be transferred to her while she exploits them to prevent you from parenting your own children. Since you don't even get to see your children, you must choose your children's mother extremely carefully. Truth is, guys, marriage is hard, and it's harder for you if you have to financially provide for another person, let alone her children who are not biologically yours. That's what happens if you marry a single mother. But even if you marry someone older than you, she's going to want to have babies ASAP. This is because women have a biological clock that's ticking. After a certain age, their chances to conceive get thinner and lower. If you're young, please don't get trapped in such a situation. Live your life and be with someone who you want to be. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's it for today, guys. See you later.